2001 was a pretty dang good year for video games. The previous year brought us the PlayStation 2, and it dominated the video game market while crushing out the Dreamcast. But September of 2001 brought us the Nintendo GameCube, and 2 months later, Microsoft would enter the ring, bringing us one of the best three-way console wars of all time that rages to this day. Well, this is Game Rain, my attempt at a show where I take games and compare and contrast them to decide which one is my subjective favorite. For this episode, I have scoured 2001 game review outlets to figure out what was the game of the year for the PlayStation 2, the GameCube, and the Xbox, and I was able to determine that these were the games. For Sony, we have Grand Theft Auto 3, the gritty crime game that revolutionized open-world sandbox games and cemented Rockstar as a masterful third-party developer. Nintendo's masterpiece, Super Smash Bros. Melee, Masahiro Sakurai's fanfiction turned reality, that stayed as the GameCube's bestseller for the console's entire lifespan. And Microsoft was able to secure Halo Combat Evolved, another game that revolutionized the genre of first-person shooter and spawned an entire empire. So, many of us have probably played at least one of these games, and probably have a lot of fond memories with them. But my job is to decide how they hold up to modern day standards. I mean, come on. These two games cost $5 each on eBay, and that included their shipping cost. Well, I've come up with five categories to decide which these games, how fun these games are. And those 5 categories are atmosphere, variety, fun, controls, and longevity. The winner of each category will be given 2 points, and the runner-up will get 1 point. But if you get last place,
you get nothing! You lose! Good day, sir!
Now, this whole idea for a show may sound familiar. That's because I lifted it from my YouTube buddy, Blazing Knight, and his 3-for-all show. That's exactly where I got the idea. However, Blazing Knight is a hashtag cool bro about the whole thing. You see, when I was setting up the show, I got a hold of Blazing Knight and said, "Hey dude, I'm stealing your idea. You think you can help me?" And he basically said, "Sure thing, bro." And he actually ended up giving me a ton of help setting this whole thing up. So if you end up liking this video, you should check out his 3-for-all series. I'll put his channel and a playlist for all his 3-for-all videos in the description. But with that said, let's pit these legends against one another and see which game will reign. Atmosphere. So, atmosphere is going to be a combination of multiple categories: graphics, music, and just anything that helps transport you out of your couch and into the TV's game world. And let me tell you, all 3 of these games do a very good job of this.
All the songs you were tired of 20 years ago. Flashback FM.
Now, while this game might not be the prettiest tool in the shed, it has some very thick atmosphere. The sandbox nature of this game really brings Liberty City to life, and the attention to detail is amazing. Whenever you're in a car, you can call up radio stations, and that really makes the world realized. Real songs, fake commercials, radio hosts for each channel. This game has a very thick atmosphere, and Liberty City is a very real and alive place. Also, while we're talking about the sound design of Grand Theft Auto 3, I just want to say that the sound effects in GTA are pretty realistic, but just listen to the sound effect of running someone over. That is some silly Hanna-Barbera sound effects right there. Should I even bother sugarcoating this? This game is gorgeous by modern standards, and the music is just Nintendo's greatest hits remixed and remastered. It wins the atmosphere. The levels look great and have little Easter eggs that allude to the games they are from. The R-Wings shooting you in Corneria, and the F-Zero cars on Mute City that are whizzing by that you can actually destroy and see their smoking husks. Look, this game gets the King's Crown for atmosphere hands down. But tell me, who's gonna take the Queen's Crown? Halo has every advantage to take over this category. Its world and weapons are futuristic and therefore have no standard to be held to, but every single alien weapon has a different design and an awesome sound to accompany it. The environments look pretty dang good for the Xbox, especially since this was a launch title, and the levels are massive, even if for the worse. Also, your Marine buddies talk to you the whole time, and the most immersive thing about them is that when you drive off of a jump, your Marine bumps his fist in the air. When I die, I want to be as energetic as that guy. But the most important part about Halo's atmosphere is that soundtrack. So yeah, As I mentioned, the gold star goes to Melee, but who gets the silver? In my honest opinion, it's a toss-up that could go either way, but I think I'm gonna have to give it to Bungie. While GTA's world does feel very alive and real, look at the graphics! What is that? Now, Halo doesn't look much better, but it is slightly above, and when it comes to atmosphere, I mean, as long as you're outside on the ring world, you can look up and see the massive Halo. It really gives the game scope. You are on a Halo. And that is just an amazing detail. So, I'm sorry GTA, but Melee and Combat Evolved are walking away with the points. Variety. Now this is a pretty important thing in games for me, and it's why I tend to like water and ice levels in games. You know, it really spices up the gameplay. And if you throw in vehicles?
Well, gentlemen, you had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
Grand Theft Auto 3. So this game has two main movement types, this silly running animation or driving around, and there is a lot of driving around in this game. I mean, it's called Grand Theft Auto, so I guess I shouldn't be all that. Well, the main thing is that you drive around to missions in this game, and these missions are wildly varied. You go and kill guys for Luigi, or you escort some escorts to the policeman's ball, and there's this one mission where you steal a car from some mobsters, and then you put a bomb on it and return it to them before they finish their cannolis. Eat till you explode. Ha! I get it! It's because I just murdered someone who hadn't done anything to me. This game has a ton of variety, over 20 stages, 25 playable characters, and that's just the multiplayer. You throw in the one-player modes like All-Star Mode, Adventure Mode, and the 50 events that change up the objective and types of plays, and you definitely have that variety that I'm looking for. Now, when it comes to variety, this game may be a little lacking at first, but as you get to playing it, you realize that you have a wide variety of things that you can do here. A vast arsenal of weapons, both human and alien. There's also vehicle sections. You can get in the gunner or driver's seat of a Warthog, or you can take the aliens ride. But the funnest part has to be the feeling of power you get in that tank. You have 10 levels of gameplay and 4 difficulties to master. However, those levels should be more like 6. The last half of this game is going back through the same areas you've been in to fight the Flood, not to mention how repetitive the level design is. So which game has the most variety? Grand Theft Auto 3 has the most. Halo has a tank, but guess what? So does GTA, and it makes the Scorpion look like a total joke with its ramming speeds. It has so many vehicles, and it has 76 different missions to tackle, and tons of hidden stuff. So it easily takes the crown of the variety category. And Smash takes second because, seriously, all you do in Halo is shoot aliens. It's fun, yes. But you can do all of that in Smash and so much more. So it's gonna take the silver here. Fun! Pretty straightforward topic. Did I have fun with the game? Did the gameplay and mechanics create something truly memorable and engaging? Was the difficulty tuned to something that pushed me to my limits, but not past them? So this game is pretty fun. Just exploring the world that Rockstar created is awesome. The detail's great, and I love driving around in a newly acquired vehicle. As I mentioned in the variety bit, employers around Liberty City have tons of fun missions for you. However, some are freaking annoying, you know, especially since if you fail a mission, you need to drive all the way back to the person and ask them for the mission again. But the true fun of GTA is popping in a code, getting full armor, weapons, and a tank, and then going on a rampage. I feel I should mention that I'm not looking at any of the game's multiplayer modes in this series because I'm a cranky old hermit with no friends. That should hurt games like Smash and Halo, but I don't think it really ruins any of the fun. If you pull off a Knee of Justice, it feels almost as good if you do it to a computer as if you do it to your good old buddy. But this game's pretty fun, but at the higher difficulties it can get kind of stupid. Look at this crap! Let me— oh! You worthless edge guards! But yeah, the thought that went into the events and the replayability of Adventure Mode does add to this game's fun factor. Do you know how these games got to be games of their respective year?
Because it's fun!
And Halo is no exception. Over the course of the 7 Halo games, there has been one objective: shooting aliens. They haven't needed to change it up because everyone loves killing aliens. And if you don't, hit that dislike button. If you don't get pleasure from laying a grunt down with a well-placed pistol shot, you're a liar. Halo's gameplay is simple and fun, and that's why I think it gets the crown for the fun category. And second place is gonna go to Smash. Not because it stands out as a super fun game, but because GTA falls flat where it should flourish. Remember how I said that the best part of Grand Theft Auto should be the cheat-induced rampage? Well, in Grand Theft Auto 3, it's not fun. Seriously, I climbed into a tank and used the turret to blow up enough people to get the police's attention, and then they showed up and shot me a whole bunch, rammed at least 100 squad cars into me, and I didn't take so much as a scratch of damage. Unbridled power is a joy, but when you cannot lose, it becomes stale fast. The only reason I even lost is because, I took my attention off the game because I was so bored with it. I was checking Twitter and then, a cop pulled me out of the tank. Controls. This is an important category because the one thing that you are always doing in these games is moving around. If moving around isn't natural, then the whole game is just gonna be a hassle. Kinda like in Grand Theft Auto 3! Grand Theft Auto 3 has always been a bit of a chore to move around when you're, walking. It's so stupid! But the one thing that it does do pretty good is the driving. In a game about stealing cars, you should probably have some good driving controls. And for the most part, they are. I mean, some are better than others, like the Patriot. But other cars have terrible turn radiuses, especially at the higher speeds. In fact, at one point, there's this street race, and I had a really tough time because driving in this game is like trying to control a train on train tracks. Momentum does not want you going left or right, but I think that where this game fails masterfully is at the combat. The PlayStation 2 version of GTA 3 has some of the worst gun mechanics I have ever faced, which is pretty bad when you're a career criminal who needs to shoot people. There is no way to aim. All there is an auto aim, and then you shoot by using the circle button? Do you have any idea how hard a game is when you need to shoot some angry Asians, but when you press the button to do that, you leap forward 6 feet in an animation that takes 2 seconds? It's very hard, especially when you're fighting people who are immaculate. There was this one battle where I needed to kill some gangsters. We both hopped out of our cars for a shootout, but before I could even lock onto them, the machine guns took away 60% of my health. So I started running, and when I did this, they accidentally shot my car, which made it explode, and that's how I won the fight. You call that controls? No. Well, let's see which one of 2001's darlings claims this category. For 2001, these were pretty good controls. But I'm looking at this with 2017 eyes. Eyes that have sunk hundreds of hours into Smash 4. My boy Link can't even shoot arrows fast anymore. No one can reliably roll in this game, and the Seasick doesn't even throw out a smash attack. However, Captain Falcon controls like a dream. Landing his Falcon punches and aerials is so fun and natural. While I don't care for the other characters' movements, I love Falcon. I mean, what's better control than pressing B and then up on the D-pad? This game certainly shows us its moves. So, Halo, pretty standard controls for a first-person shooter. Advance, retreat, strafe, pretty good. Actually, really good. Look at how naturally I can walk in a circle on this narrow bridge without plummeting to my doom. Very natural controls, and the vehicles aren't bad either. Each vehicle feels great. Lining up shots or zooming around in an otherworldly aircraft feels great. And come on, if I can swing around the back of this Warthog effortlessly without losing the feeling of control, you know that the controls are great. So, it should come as no surprise where the points for the controls are going, right? GTA has bad controls, Smash has selectively good controls, and Halo has fantastic controls. Longevity. Should this game be played nowadays? Does it have a legacy?
Legacy. What is a legacy?
Okay, so if the results screens are any indicator, this game isn't winning the round. And it really doesn't deserve it. The passage of time has destroyed this game. You want a carjacking experience? Play V! Or even IV! Those games are both great, but this game is bad. I was wondering how it got on any Game of the Year lists, but Blazing Night pointed something out to me. Before this, open worlds didn't really exist. 2001 was many people's first experience of a sprawling, expansive city. Cool back then, but by today's standards, it just doesn't have any longevity.
It will do you no good.
At least this game is playable, and people do play it. As I mentioned, Halo and GTA cost me $5 on eBay. You know what I had to pay for a scratched up used copy of this game 15 years after its release, even though there are millions of copies? $45. This game is pretty good, and tournaments are awesome to watch, but casual players like myself who have had a taste of Smash 4 don't really need to play this. Well, actually the adventure and classic modes are super well done and are actually worth the time, especially if you play as Captain Falcon. Alright Halo, this is do or die time. Has 2017 and your sequels made you into a clunky, buggy mess? Well, not really. This game has probably survived the passage of time the best. It's not as polished as the newer games, but dang if it isn't fun! There was no time in playing this game where I wished I was playing a newer game. And as far as the legacy goes, if you're a fan of the series, you should definitely play this game because it is a treat! 16 years later, this game doesn't look and it controls like a dream. Not to mention, it's important to the Halo story. So with that, I think you know how the score ends up. GTA with 2 points, Smash Bros with 6, and Halo coming up from behind with 7. I am glad I got a chance to play all 3 of these games. And hey, Game Rain has just started. In a couple of months, I'll be making another episode. 2002's best games. Ico, Splinter Cell, and Metroid Prime. Leave a comment below of things that I should keep in mind while I'm looking at those games. All 3 of these games were amazing when they came out, but time has taken their toll on some of them, and I bet some of you were even kind of mad at me for what I chose. But here's the thing, if you play all 3 of these games in the modern day, I bet you'll probably agree with me. Heck, I thought that Smash was gonna win, hands down, but as I got to playing them, I realized that, you know, these two have not aged nearly as gracefully as Combat Evolved.